Okay, thank you. Happy International Day of Peace. You know that? Okay, good. I don't have to explain anything. We're all there already. I want to tell you about why I stopped protesting wars and why instead I give awards to people who don't really want them. It always seemed to make sense to me that dropping bombs on people was bad, and I was taught that when people in suits start ordering people in camouflage around, that people in tie-dye are supposed to go in the streets. So I did that, and that was fine, and I'm not going to say that that wasn't rewarding or that it was an invaluable experience at all, but I'll let you in on the mind of many social activists. We take on immense international projects and issues, and often reactively, and then we get burned out if we don't see results fairly quickly. Not all the time, in fact, most of the exceptions are in this room, but it's common. So fortunately, as my energy waned and the energy of the organization that I started waned, I didn't stop taking a really hard look at peace, this sort of vague, overly politicized, almost empty term that the dictionary basically just defines as the absence of conflict. And I really wanted to know what it was that I was asking for, and so that if someone actually handed it to me, I'd recognize it. And I found the kind of cultural, sustainable peace that I was looking for to be a verb, to be something that we do together, and that takes a lot of effort and a lot of creativity to create and to maintain. I also looked at culture and what makes that up, and it turns out that culture isn't mystical or haphazard. It's actually made up of some pretty well-defined elements. And I know I'm not alone in this room in believing that if we can be conscious of those elements and proactive about them, we can take an active role in creating the kind of culture that we want to see. So I started devising a way to reward that and to recognize that in our community. And that's called the Nobel Peace Prize. One of the elements of culture is whom we hold up as heroes and sheroes among us. And so we can do a really quick experiment. Anyone quickly to shout out a living American sports figure? Anyone? Excellent. A living American actor or actress? Hey, we've got lots of them. A living American military figure? Very good. A living American peacemaker? Nice. Thank you. One. That's not quite as easy. And it's a lot more subjective, and it's a lot more nuanced. It forces us to ask and answer the questions, what does peace mean and what does it look like? And so the Nobel Peace Prize aims to help us expand our perspectives in answering those questions. And so what I want you to do over the coming year is be on the lookout for peace. Answer those questions for yourself. What does peace mean and what does peace look like? And when you see it, go to nothing that's on the screen at all, nobelpeaceprizeojai.org, and make a nomination. You can do this all year long. And next summer, we'll roll that into public online voting, and we'll see what resonates with the community. And we'll give an award next year. Now, I said that I give this award to people who don't want it. What I find is that most of the time, people who are doing this kind of work aren't looking for the spotlight. And in fact, they don't like to take individual credit for their efforts. And that kind of collaborative attitude that we've heard about all day long is so much a part of the peace models that we see. So I just want to express my gratitude to all the honorees for stretching themselves a little bit and allowing us to shine a light on them, hold them up, and celebrate them and build community around them and their noble efforts. Thank you. I appreciate that from them. So this year's organization that we're honoring has rallied our community together under common vision with tremendous talent and effort to help protect one of our most basic and most necessary natural resources, our water. They have put in so much time and so much effort and done a really amazing job of helping us to see that when individuals come together, we can have greater influence than a wealthy corporation, and gosh, I should say less, because I want him to speak. Their effort thus far has been successful to replace a for-profit water company with a nonprofit community water district. And so I would like to invite Stan Green to the stage to accept the 2013 Nobel Peace Prize on behalf of this year's honoree, Ojai Flo. Come on up. We do this right. We do this right. You get a medal. Look at that. All right.
Thank you. Well, unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, the first question, that came to my mind when this came up was why flow? And because we never use the word peace in any of our meetings, we never were thinking about peace, but I understand that what it is that his organization wanted to do was to somehow recognize community power. And I really believe in that. His idea was about sharing ideas. And our committee was also, because we got a bunch of diverse people, 7 chiefs, no Indians, and every single one that joined us at the beginning was still there after 3 years of operation. And if you think that's easy, it ain't. But the reason that they stayed together is because their purpose was clear. And we always had to keep reminding them, do you really think that this is the right thing to do? And can we do it? So, when I look at, I've been playing around in the activist field probably for well over 30 years, so you can all relate to that. Austin had a couple of ideas, and they had to do with sustainable solutions and the celebration of action. I believe those were the words that you kind of left out there. And he's right, because that's the only way that things really work. When I try to relate this to peace, I said, okay, we kept the peace within our committee in order to be able to accomplish something, which we couldn't do when we started fighting with each other about who knew the best way to do this. So that was that. I think all the committee, should get a lot of credit for just the fact that they were able to focus on what the issue was and stick with it. And a lot of work went into it. Mm-hmm. So anyhow, I thought, okay, so I have to talk a little bit about peace. Peace is good. And I believe that sustaining peace promotes it. And that if we promote it, I believe the world can get used to it and see its advantages. So when I was talking to Evan, I said, we should stop talking about peace because it's kind of this abstract that he says we don't know what it really means, and actually concentrate on no war, because that we can work on. Because I don't know what I would do to say I want peace, but I certainly know what to do if I say I don't want war. Now, we went to war. I mean, we considered what we were doing locally and what we've done environmentally over the past years as a war, because we were up against an enemy, And so there was a battle that went on. Nobody got hurt, I mean, not physically. But what we did was we created an atmosphere in which 9 out of the 10 fights that we would have had on environmental issues and policy issues never occurred, because there were people out there who said, I'm not going to waste my time up there in Ojai because they're going to drain me and they're not going to let me just step all over them. I'm going to go somewhere else to do my dirty work. And you know what? That actually worked. I used to run into people who were going in to city council looking to get some variation on whatever they were doing. And their attitude was, maybe we're wasting our time here. We can put our efforts into some other community that doesn't fight us as much. So don't ever think that it isn't worth it. Peace is a natural state. It is the natural state. It's not the absence of war in a sense, but it is natural state. That's what we have to promote, that we don't do things to change this natural state. Okay, I see a thing that says wrap up, so I have to do that. What I would suggest is, and this is what occurred to me, politically, you have to decide that there's an issue that's worth fixing or working on because of its benefits. The second step is you got to really believe that you can fix it. If you don't believe that, you don't go anywhere with it. Oh, we can't, we're fighting City Hall, we can't. Believe me, that step is good, but the last step, it's get off your butt and do something about it. That's the one where we fail very often. I was talking to my daughter and she said, I got a quote for you. And she hold it up on her iPhone. It says, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. You know who wrote that? Margaret Mead, right. So, let me leave you just with one thing. We have to learn, you have to organize, and then you have to act. And you can get a lot more done if you don't care who gets the credit. So, thank you.
Thank you, Stan. Thank you so much.